Alright, dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap. Right, what is artwod? I'm so tired of this intro. How do YouTubers do it? Okay, yeah, artwod, link in description. I'm not a shill. I am a shill. I'm not affiliated. They are the reason I can draw like this. Let me just get the piece of paper. They're the reason I can draw like this. They're the reason I can draw like this. Fuck, Jesus. Yeah, I can do all of this because of artwod. Woohoo! Right? I know I sound extremely unenthusiastic, but I did just eat. Therefore, my blood-brain barrier is non-existent. I don't even think that makes sense. I just have a lot of blood going to my gut and not to my brain, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, draw along. Get your fucking pen. Get your paper. Draw along. Right, dude. Sometimes I listen to my videos because like sometimes I'll randomly open it to make sure the audio's good, and then I'll get enamored by my own voice. I'm like, oh, what a handsome sounding man. and then and then I'm like, never mind, this guy is an actual dipshit. Then I wonder what people who actually watch my videos or listen to me think. They're like, you know. Sometimes I feel as if I'm extremely eloquent. Other times, clearly, I'm just, dude. Like I remember, what was it, like a few, like four videos ago, I was talking about how Didus and Emirichu, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be so much better than them. I'm like, damn, I sound like an asshole. But at the same time, right after, I'm like, oh no, I love these people. So I don't even know who I am anymore. My own YouTube videos are making me question my own goddamn personality. But one thing I do know for sure is clearly I'm very passionate, whatever I do talk about. And perhaps that makes you very passionate about what I'm very passionate about, right? So, anyways, what am I doing? Jesus Christ. Anyways, what am I doing? Portrait roadmap, artwod portrait roadmap, right? Look at a reference. I mean, this is way more than what they require, but we are now almost. Well, look at that. We're almost at the 50th rep, right? But I'm looking at a portrait. I'm putting a box over that portrait. I'm putting a sphere inside that box, and I'm putting a center line inside the sphere inside the box. And the center lines are obviously vertical and horizontal, right? Slowly but surely, I am getting better at this, which I'm pretty happy about. Now, the reference I'm looking at is a different angle now. I've actually used this guy's face before because it's the same Pinterest board. There's quite a few pins, but like different angles. But this particular angle, like the bottom view where they're looking to our right, like that's not common. So I obviously just kind of went back to this one, but I need to make sure that this is hopefully a perfect cube. And it's extremely difficult. Again, it's extremely difficult to hold a box, a sphere inside a box, a center line inside that sphere, inside that box, in your fucking head or wherever you are holding it. And you know, I'm gonna elongate this. We're gonna make this slightly bigger. I feel as if this is like, this is actually, funny enough, the angle that I'm looking at of the portrait that I'm looking at, like this is surprisingly pretty even. Like this guy's side plane and his front plane seem to be relatively even, which is pretty impressive, which actually does make it almost easier to draw this cube. Not easy, because still thinking about that sphere is extremely difficult, but it definitely makes it easier to think about the center line. I do feel as if I have made this plane, this left plane here, at least from our perspective, the left plane pretty narrow, which is not intentional, and that's a mistake, because that line... Oh, and this is like, the video I was even looking at was the one, I was looking at another one where I kept talking about how everything was a mistake that I was doing, and I actually felt as if that illustrated the point quite well. Like, this was a mistake because these lines got separated. This was also a mistake over here because these lines were too thin and this thickness is what I wanted. This entire line, this section is a mistake because this is too thick compared to this. One thing I also understood from watching my own fucking video was the fact that the quality, obviously from my phone, also I think this is slightly diverging by a millimeter, so that's also a mistake, like these two lines. But one thing, and like this is a mistake because it's not a straight line. Well, yeah, one thing I've clearly understood from that specific session where I was just like, I'm talking about all the mistakes, this is some good shit. But then I realized, like, oh wait, the quality of my camera is nowhere near good enough. See, that's a mistake because there's like a little wiggle in the line, right? So zero line control. Oh, that's a mistake because it got separated and it's a wiggle, right? And I'm obviously just saying this again because it's a good reminder. And mentally I'm making a lot of mistakes because I'm struggling to hold that sphere in my mind consistently, and I'm barely seeing that, and I'm barely calculating the horizontal center line inside the sphere, right, and the vertical center line. So those are all mistakes. This is definitely diverging. Holy shit, that's a huge mistake. And it feels good. Like, it feels good, right? That's a mistake. These lines are fucking wobbly, right? Basically, like, what I quantify as mistakes is any line that's wobbly, any lines that's not the thickness that I intended it for it to be, any line that has variations in its thickness. Yeah, this entire box now we can see is actually a pretty big fuck up. It's actually not even a perfect box at all. So this is a drastic fuck up. And that's a good thing. Like, that's actually a good thing. Holy shit, dude, that's a huge fuck up. What the fuck? It should not have ended to, like, I think I should have stopped it around here. Right? Something like that. Yeah, that would have been a lot better. Maybe even still not good enough, but that's still a lot better. But yeah, I also chose this angle because there's a slight foreshortening on the right side of his face. Right? Very slight, actually, if that. But yeah, like I realized that my camera is just not good enough. See, that's a mistake because I wasn't confident with the line. That's a mistake because there's a break there, right? There's a mistake because there's a slight wobble. That's a mistake again because there's a break there. But you see, like, this is kind of what I like to oh, that's a mistake because I didn't even connect that break when I tried to fix it, right? So just sheer inaccuracies with lines and the confidence that I have with the lines clearly. So this is also a mistake. Line's really wobbly. This entire line is a pretty big mistake. Oh, see, line's wobbly again. Oh, line's wobbly, and it broke, right? What I mean by broke is, like, I lifted my pen and then I didn't continue it as well, right? Like, there's, like, a tiny gap. But yeah, my camera's not good enough to clearly showcase this, right? You really would have to look. Like, you'd really have to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? But yeah, when I get the money, I will invest in a better camera. I know Broken Draw, like, when I spoke to him a few months ago, he was telling me about, like, the camera he had. I'm like, damn, that sounds like a good camera. And it seems to be like the go-to one that Reddit jerks off over as well. So I was like, okay, if they're cooming, I am spending. Simple as that. Now, let's just, get the ear placement. Right, and again, like, while I'm drawing all of this, I want to be very clear. Like, I'm really trying to think about the box. Like, sorry, not the box, but I'm really trying to think about that sphere. But I've barely been able to, but the point is I'm trying, right? And this is why I need to keep saying that I'm thinking about it as well. It's as much as I am trying to inform those of you listening that, oh shit, he's constantly thinking, i.e. reinforcing the fact that drawing is thinking. I also need to keep saying it for myself as a reminder, and that's why I need to ghost a bunch too, because I need to keep ghosting and saying these things to remind myself, like, oh wait, go back to thinking about this, go back to thinking about this, right? Because to think is also effort, right? It's constant effort to also, let me get this guy's nose, right? But it's constant. He has more of an Asian nose, which is actually, is that an Asian nose? I mean, it is a pretty African nose, but well, I guess that's the cool part, is like you start noticing the similarities between different features. And they're like, this guy also has a bit of a wide bridge, right? Wide bridge, bit of a flat bridge, bit of a bump on this part of the nose, like this part, right? And that seems to have some similarities to Asian noses as well, but it's like you don't notice that until you actually start drawing it, which is really cool, to be honest. That's why one of the reasons I really love portraiture, or I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I was just working on other things, is due to the fact that, and again, while I'm talking and while I'm drawing this feature on the box, I'm really trying to hold that sphere in my mind. And again, saying that is really helping me as well, right? Or it's helping me more than if I wasn't saying it, because to think is extremely difficult. We do need these verbal cues. And again, trying to think about that center line as well, right? But yeah, we don't think about the features that exist until we're sort of forced to, if that makes sense, right? Like, until you draw, you don't really think about all these things. I can't really see the thing is, like, this guy's head, like, this part is the skull and it kind of goes inwards, right? So the eyebrow's supposed to go in like that. So I definitely fucked up some, and his eyes are closed. So I definitely fucked up some proportions and some features, and perspective even. Yeah, his eyes are closed. He has quite the nice eyelashes, I will say. My dude. My Nigerian prince. But, no, this is like the model-esque look, right? It's like, look at me. His lips are also slightly open, because that's also the model thing, right? And again, like, I'm talking about a bunch of shit. I'm filling in features like that. These are all skills. To do all of this while also fucking holding that box in my mind, incredibly difficult. And sphere, sorry. Right now the box is already drawn, so I'm not holding it as much, clearly. But the sphere, right? The sphere and the center lines, it's so fucking hard. Like, I can explain. I'm explaining it right now. It's extremely difficult. I don't know how else to explain it, right? Like, incredibly difficult. Let's see. I'm not trying to really go for super intense likeness for these features, but clearly not. Actually, did I fuck it up? Maybe I didn't. But I do want to get like some general like proportions and shit accurately, but again, like this is why I love portraiture, because the thing is, like, we have to remember that the size I'm drawing everything right now is the size that my portrait's actually going to be when I start learning portraits, right? And he has like teeth that are coming out there. I don't know if that's necessary to draw, but that's the size. Like this is the size my portraits are going to be. So when I actually learn all the features, the simple versions and the advanced shapes of those simple shapes, right? Like it's still going to be a great exercise for me to practice my lines, right? See, that's a mistake, because again, like you see in this angle, my lines keep disconnecting, right? And these are all beautiful, beautiful mistakes. So this is much better, even though it's still just slightly diverging because it's going this way, that's going that way, right? It's like, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it's like, you can tell. If you can't tell, that means your eyes can improve, which is amazing, because that means like, oh, okay, I have a 3mm differential that I can work on improving, right? But I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. I'm gonna keep trying to see that sphere, and then we're gonna just try to design some random shapes, try to keep it simple, try to do something maybe functional, right? But just really work on creating nice designs. But main thing is to hold that sphere, hold the center lines, and just really calculate the fuck out of everything, which, I'll be honest, I'm really struggling with today. I think I say I struggle with this every session, but today I think it's just a bit more, definitely like a solid 40% increase in the ability to hit that baseline that I always do, which is just how it is, right? Progress, I really want to remind everybody, right? Progress is like this. Like it's like up and then down and up and then down, up and down. And some days you'll go up 3, down 5, and then up 2, down 3, and then up 7, and then down 2. So it's like, it's just, it's a trajectory, okay? It's a trajectory. It's not linear at all, actually. But the effort you put in is linear, because you're always trying to put in as much effort as you can, right? But the progress compounds, right? Like right now, none of this will mean anything until boom, I can just fucking, like, all of this will compound to being able to hold 3 layers, I can't fucking speak, 3 layers of perspective on the page while drawing shapes around it. Then like that skill, once that skill is unlocked to a decent level of proficiency, checkmark that shit, then it's like, oh, okay, that means you have the skill to hold 3 layers of perspective while drawing shapes around it. That can apply to anything, machinery, people, bikes, fucking handles, like trying to like make things functional. Like suddenly the whole world is opened up. But the applicability right now is just, it seems limited because I'm confining it to this. But you have to look at the broader skills that are being, and the meta skills inside of it, right? The meta skills that are being built inside of it. So I guess this is just me fucking trying to explain what I'm doing isn't useless. I'm not coping, I swear. Yeah, but it's just one of those things, right? You're gonna look like an idiot when you're trying to figure it out, right? And then once you have figured it out, everybody else will look like an idiot forever doubting you. So that's not, I didn't even say that. Alex Hormozi tweeted that. I have like a bunch of his fucking tweets saved on my phone, and it just goes through like a widget that flips through it. And it's all just motivating shit, do the fucking work, right? You will figure it out, right? Think in decades, like all these things that I need right now in my life to internalize, right? Because I'm in my lonely chapter. I'm in my lonely chapter. Anyways, now comes the extremely difficult part, which is what we're going to focus all of our efforts on, right? Which is box, right? We're holding this. Now we're going to hold this projection and carry it over. So it's box, sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere, right? Vertical and horizontal. What do I mean by that, right? These center lines, like this, right? In the sphere. Again, vertical and horizontal, right? This. And then when you close the sphere off, there you go, right? You got that center line. This is obviously extremely rough. It's not super accurate. But the thing is, like, it's easy to do it at this scale, Obviously when you draw tiny, but now you have to project this out at 10 times the size and then carry it over, right? And that's why visualization and spatial reasoning is such a beautifully difficult skill that is 100% worth learning. Right? I'm sorry. I'm not apologizing for the burp. I'm apologizing for, cutting myself off because my words are important. But yeah, so yeah, like I really hope anybody who's here listening, just this is kind of like what my channel has become. Not because I want it to be that, but this is just who I am. My channel is just me, which is just constantly reminding myself and anybody listening that, hey, as long as we're like right now, my brain is hurting so much because I can barely visualize this, but like it feels so good because I'm forcing myself to feel good. That dude, like these are all fucking beautiful mistakes. These are all beautiful mistakes because you can barely hold this projection of the sphere over. And the more you're talking, the more it's difficult to have your train of thought consistently occurring while also in conjunction holding a complete spatial reasoning skill on the page, 3 layers of it, right? So it's all skills. It's all skills and it's all effort to apply those skills. But I need to transfer this over. I need to transfer it over right here, right? So okay, let's see. I might do 1, 2, and then like maybe like 1, 2. I don't know, man. This page is gonna be weird because actually no, I'll just use another page. What am I saying? Next video or yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't know why I'm worried about making things even. Ignore that. Actually, don't even listen. Anyways, okay, so I need to see the sphere and I need to but I would like to design something first, right? And I'm still trying to focus on, because it's already so hard to see these 3 layers of perspective, right? But I'm still also trying to focus on ensuring that I'm not being too much of a hard ass with the design. Right now, the only thing that matters is just kind of start the design, right? Start the design, see where it goes, because everything else will take care of itself over time, right? But right now, the main thing is just start the fucking design. Don't put too much pressure on like it has to look one way or another, right? Don't even put too much pressure on like having to make interesting shapes. But the cue and the balance I'm trying to find is like the joy of just being like just experimenting, be like, okay, what can even be done, right? Like what can even be done? Like what's something interesting? What's something cool? And yeah, that word is a goddamn scourge or scourge. Scourge? I don't fucking know. But it's probably best to just go at it and just see what can come out of it, right? And this is why like I'm still visualizing the front plane right now. Like you can see I'm ghosting it, I'm trying to really visualize it, right? And then now we want to, okay, see, like now I have to start calculating angles and shit because I obviously want to start calculating angles, but okay, see, that's really hard to see. Like I just lost the entire perspective, so I have to recalibrate again, right? Because this is the hardest part, is to hold the 3 layers of perspective, projected, calculate it, right? Box, sphere inside the box, center lines, horizontal and vertical inside the box, and then now really think about what main shape I want to start off with, right? And while I do analyze things on Pinterest all the time, hard surface fucking board, helmet board full of hard surface helmets specifically, right? Like it's really easy to think, to see it, but to now recall it, I have to try to recall it, right? So now comes the hard part, which is the fun part, because that's how we should train our brain. The hard part is the fun part, right? So if that's the case, and this is my sphere, right? That's my sphere. Okay, so I want to do something like this maybe, right? And that's okay. And then we can perhaps so that's the sphere. This is the endpoint of my sphere, I think, right? I think this actually maybe, hopefully it's not in a different perspective. Nope, I can still get in the right perspective. We'll do something like this, make that a bit smaller. Okay, so I think relatively I can get this in the perspective that I'm wanting to get it in. I just have to be very careful about what I do next. And I think this pen is dying, which is unfortunate, but okay, like I just need, okay, now see, I kind of got little placeholders for this box now, or for the sphere, and I just need to really think about how I'm going to go about it, because this is the sphere right there, and then okay, so maybe, okay, so that's not even the full sphere, right? And I also need to think about the front plane. Oh man, this is fucking killing my brain, but this is good. This is exactly what I need, right? So let me start off with perhaps something like this, right? Something like that. Okay, so now we've established a little bit of perspective, which is good, because establishing the perspective is probably the most difficult part to do, right? Establishing anything to do with the initial perspective. And obviously I kind of fucked it up here, but that's fine. So I just need to keep holding this. I just need to keep holding this, keep seeing the overall sphere, right? Because this is actually uneven as well. Like, I've purposefully not completed the contour here in order to make things more difficult for myself, right? But okay, so we got the sphere. Fuck, this is hurting my brain, which is good. Like, again, it's not like oh fuck, this is horrible type of complaint. It's just what it is, right? Let's see, because yeah, we got something like this, and then okay, so I've already expanded this relatively well, so why don't we do something like that? Do something like that? No, we must do something like that. It's not the time to Jew, not yet, but there you go. Okay, that's a bit unorthodox. It's a bit interesting, perhaps, right? And let's see. Okay, and then what else can I do? This is the front plane, I believe, right? And do I want some sort of connection? Okay, maybe I do. Maybe I want a connection right here. Hold up. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain because like it's actually fucking hurting, and I know it doesn't look like I've drawn much, but I'm trying to see so much right now. It's amazing. It's actually amazing. But let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. Yeah, I have that fucking pit in my stomach, you know, that discomfort pit. I have that shit in my stomach right now, and I finally like I've gotten a lot better at training myself to see that as a good thing rather than a bad thing. But like even in terms of seeing the sphere, it's pretty all over the place. We might need to do something like that, make it a bit more even. But yeah, the discomfort pit is something I always feel at all times when I draw. And I actually didn't mean to do that. That was just a bad habit. But like the thing is like, yeah, I'm trying to see these 3 layers of perspective, so we have to keep that in mind. But now I'm trying to design on top of it, right? And it's incredibly hard to think about what is a ratio that works. What is something that looks nice in comparison to something else? How is this connecting to this other thing? Are there connections occurring? It's incredibly fucking hard to think about that when you're already thinking about 3 layers of perspective that are supposedly being, not supposedly, that you're trying to project onto the page, right? So that's why I'm just bitching. Well, that's why it's something that I'm trying really hard to not be too particular about, right? Like, you don't want to be too particular about it, but at the same time, I'm trying to think like, how can whatever I'm doing cut out in a way that looks decent. Okay, see, like this is actually too subtle. I should have made that a lot less subtle, but it's okay. We made that mistake now. Now I should, well, not should, there's no such thing as should. I could do something like this. A little cutout here. I have a feeling this design is going to be pretty mediocre, I'm not going to lie, but we are going to try and keep some semblance of consistency, perhaps. Maybe something like this. I don't know, it's really difficult. I'll be like, I'm going to be as honest as I can, but it's genuinely so difficult because I will see designs on Pinterest and I will get ideas, right? And I will be like, I could implement that. But then when the time comes to it, my mind is so occupied with just the absolute basics of holding the 3 layers of perspective, which is not basic. That is not a basic thing to do, but that is like the foundation, the basic thing I'm trying to do, right? My mind is so preoccupied with that anything that's outside of the mold of just, oh, something in the middle, something on the side, which is kind of what I'm trying to attempt right now, which is like move outside of your general mold, is genuinely just it's not a headache. It's just it's just cognitively demanding. Like I wasn't trying to think of the word headache. I was just trying to think about something that would essentially state that yeah, it's just extreme amounts of cognitive friction, right? But this is my center, and again, I can barely see that sphere, and it's nowhere near. Like I'm ghosting it this big. I'm very certain it's not this big, right? So I need to do some more calculations in my head and on the page. Like there needs to be a decent amount of calculating occurring. Another thing is like what's happening here? You know, what is happening here? Is it something like this? Because if that's what's happening, that makes things a lot easier. Because now look, I can turn this into a, there you go. Yeah, we can turn that into a box, right? That is having a little bit of beveling, I guess. Not that I intended for it to be like that, but... And then somehow it's connecting to this, which, if I could, perhaps do something like this. And again, like while I'm drawing these, like it's like you have to, I'm trying to keep it very clear, like drawing these features is extremely difficult. These little things I'm drawing on top is extremely difficult because I'm still trying to keep the box, the sphere inside the box, and the center line inside the sphere inside the box, like those three things calculated and kept coherent. So everything that's drawn on top of it is like I'm fighting to only focus on that thing and completely lose the rest of the perspective, but I'm constantly trying to keep in mind that hey, no, there's an entire consistent perspective this is being drawn in, right? And you have to respect that and be aware of that, right? And see, like when I drew these lines, I completely forgot it, but now I have to fucking make an extremely conscious effort, because like the hardest part is not keeping the perspective, like the box in mind. Now the hardest part is keeping the sphere inside the box in mind, right? Like understanding that that exists. It's hard to explain. What I'm trying to say is like basically always being aware of the three layers of perspective and solidifying it. And it's basically like an X-ray that's constantly surrounding these. But my mind wants to completely ignore that while I draw these finer details. I was gonna say finer details. What the fuck? These finer details, yeah? But let's see. Okay. You know, maybe something interesting could occur here that I hadn't even thought of, right? I literally hadn't even thought of this, but if this is the sphere, and that's the endpoint, like that's definitely the endpoint. Okay, that's not perfect at all. That's not that good, but that's the endpoint of my sphere. Maybe this could actually be part of it. And it's wrapping around like so. Now that's something I haven't done before. And this is the fun part. It's like now I'm actually getting to experiment. Because now look, I've actually defined the side of my sphere. And I wasn't intending to do this, but I thought, hey, like if I already have something elliptical here or cylindrical here, sorry, could I not do this? Would that even make sense? I don't think that sort of attachment really makes sense at all, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. And I could also just do something like this, right? Where we have little cutouts. And maybe it's following the contour. Or not maybe, I'm going to try to make it follow the contour. I don't know. That could look like it's part of a sphere. Now the other thing is also obviously trying to make it the same on the other side, which finally I get to practice as well, because fucking we all know I struggle a shit ton with. But look, like now I actually have a bit of the sphere that I can say, hey, like this is the sphere, right? And I can actually try to think maybe like, hey, if this is the sphere, right? Because we've already established one side of it, then perhaps something like this. It's not perfect, but like slowly, look at that. Like, yeah, I'm actually, because this, I literally just happened to decently define the sphere through this now. So now I just got to go to the other side. And, okay, see, like this was too far out, I think. Far out, man, far out indeed. But this is not supposed to be that long. So okay, I made a mistake. But now we have to see, like, okay, if I made the mistake, how are you going to make up for the mistake? Right? Because technically this sphere is going to be relatively, it could be relatively perfect. But now I have to think, well, I have to do something different on the other side, don't I? And now this is where the opportunity for design can come into play. But even though I already fucked up those lines, maybe I could do something like this. Right? Something like this. And now we can get our diagonal in. Right? And this way, it's like, okay, well, we're not just going to have some random bullshit go burr. Well, actually, we are. That's exactly what I'm doing. But it makes a little bit more sense because I'm allowing what the fuck am I saying? Because I'm changing like the other side, right? Because I'm identifying and I'm establishing that asymmetry is what's occurring, right? I think this was a fuck up on my end. That should have been a bit better, a bit cleaner. Yeah, that messed that up on this side. Okay, it's okay because that's how we learn from these mistakes, right? That's this side, and then the other side is something like this. There you go. And we will also make sure it follows this contour. Like I already fucked that up a little bit, but I love how I love how I always say like, oh, I fucked that up a little bit when it's like a fucking gargantuan fuck up, but that's just how I am. See, and maybe this can just be a large shape, which I can actually perhaps extend outward like so, because there's no rule that says that. And again, I'm really trying to hold that box and the sphere in mind, but there's no rule, like this is like design, right? There's no rule that says I need to make these any sort of shape apart from what I want them to be, if that makes sense. Right? So we can extend it out and then bring this back in like so. That already looks not too bad, right? And then I can even maybe, because this is like good line practice, right? Good fine line practice. There you go. Do something like that. Not that this shape is anything particularly inspiring, but... And now, if we just continue this on the other side, there you go. It's like, okay, now it's wrapping around the sphere, right? And let's see, this is that's like the cylinder. But you see, like, I'm making so many mistakes. I keep touching the paper with my lines, with my pen before I even know what I'm actually doing. So that's a mistake. That's just like a very clear mistake, right? And that's something that I do struggle with. pretty decently. Right, and like let's see how the sphere is looking. It's coming up like this, right? It's supposed to be a perfect sphere, so I'm really trying to keep that sphere in mind. It's really hard to, of course, like and it should be expected to be difficult, because otherwise then I wouldn't be enjoying it nearly as much, right? But let's see. Okay. Just trying to think. Because the sphere, if we start closing it off, there you go. See, like now that's already more clear that because I'm trying to close it off, I can actually maybe do something like this. And see, these lines are all mistakes because there's no confidence behind them. Because right now the confidence is wavering purely because I don't have the, apart from not having the skills, I also don't have the visual, like the spatial reasoning, right? Like the ability to see everything at once and still design what I want to design, you know? Like I just don't have that yet. I'm attempting. These are all, what I'm doing right now are attempts to have that, right? And try to have some semblance of a logic established, but and then maybe, what do I want here? What do I want here to be? Do I even want anything there? Because like this already, everything here looks pretty messy. Some things look good, some things look pretty meh, right? I'm trying to think in terms of, because like this is the end of the sphere, right? What would look decent here? Maybe just, I have no idea. I can't think of anything. Let's see. What would look cool, I guess. Well, let me just follow it along, and then maybe something will come to mind if I just put two things here, right? And we have it follow the perspective, actually. That would help a lot if we have it follow the perspective. And maybe something like this. Oh, maybe I can do something like this. Right, some sort of intersection will make it be like, oh yeah, legit. You know, this is definitely what the artist intended. It's fucking never what the artist intended, bro. Oh shit, see, I made a mistake here because I didn't even think ahead that I would be doing something like that. But this is where, again, look at the beauty of just being able to make it a... There you go. Something like that. And maybe this can even be an ellipse, right? That's just going in perspective. Not that this really makes much sense, but we can just, okay, what the fuck did I want to do here? Actually, what did I want to do there? What the fuck was this? Wait, what the hell was this? Oh yeah, I know what this was. Okay. Something like that. Nothing but that shape is particularly inspiring, but it's okay. Okay, and then again, I'm trying to really hold everything in mind, but at this point, pure again, like sheer like demystification or whatever the fuck, right? Like trying to be completely honest about what is actually happening in my mind is nothing. Like right now, I'm just trying to focus on this, but yeah, not much is occurring right now in terms of like seeing, because I'm not seeing much, to be completely honest. I'm too focused on just finishing this, but I'm trying so hard to be aware, like at least internalize to myself that hey, something's here, right? Like there is a fucking total box sphere amalgamation thingamajiggy occurring, right? And this is also like a huge mistake I made, so because I didn't connect this properly. So we need to make sure that makes sense. So what I can do is maybe something like this. Right? And then that is connecting like so. That doesn't really work. I mean, I'm getting better at definitely drawing shapes around, but now I feel as if the shapes are uninspired, right? So that just comes down to sheer trial and error, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's literally the fucking process. It's just pure trial and error. So even something like maybe that looks cool, right? But then now we can just close the sphere off and hopefully not too many mistakes have been had. That looks pretty decent. But there's no symmetry, of course, and like the shapes are pretty jumbled and it makes no sense, but that was... But the thing is, this was my first try at trying to have a lot of things connecting. Um, Actually, no, I done it here. I guess I was trying to do something different here, which is good, right? Like, it's my first time trying to do something different and seeing how it works. This was a cool idea, like a plating around, and this is something we see and that is seen in like the design, like in any sort of... Maybe let me try something like this actually. Maybe this is gonna be a huge mistake, but I don't know. I just thought maybe I could create some sort of piping thing that would attach. But my biggest thing clearly is also, apart from like the million biggest things I always say, is like spacing, design. There's a million things, but I will say at least the perspective is not bad. Yeah, at least the perspective is not bad at all. This is actually inaccurate. I made this diagonal instead, which I didn't mean to. I meant for it to follow the perspective, but that would have been difficult. Yeah, okay, so this is like a jumbled mess, but still something really valuable. So I'm going to rest my brain again. We're going to obviously draw the box reference, try holding the sphere in it, and then we're going to keep trying to just what the fuck? Just yeah, draw interesting shapes. Keep trying to focus on trying to understand how to wrap shapes around the sphere, right? I definitely think another 50 reps is necessary because I think by then I should have a much clearer idea on how to do this for sure. So let's rest our brains, everybody. See, that's the thing. Like, when I'm resting my brain, I'm just kind of drifting off. I can think of so many more cool designs than the shit I do here. But that's the disconnect, right? It's like, it doesn't matter what you think of, right? It doesn't matter, oh, like, I had this idea, or damn, like, how come I couldn't apply that? Well, that's the difficult part. Holding fucking extremely difficult projections, like perspective layers of projections being projected onto the page, calculating, and then on top of that having to try to be like, oh yes, let me have a logical design, right? No shit, when I close my eyes I'm just like, oh wow, that's such a cool design that I see in my mind, right? Oh wow, it's mechanical and this makes sense. It doesn't work that way. At least for me, it doesn't work that way. Like, it's all very sequential. To get to even this point, look how much work it's taken, right? Which is a shit ton. Oh, I forgot to... There you go, close that off. But even that is uninspired. Again, some of my designs look good, many of them look bad. But this is the point, this is the point. It's like, this is the drawing journey, right? Where it's all definitely gonna look bad for a while. And that's a good thing. But let me see. I think this guy's face angle is actually, oh, it's actually a bit more tilted than I realized. It's not like this, it's a bit more subtle than that. Something like this. You see the difference? It's a decently more subtle, actually. Yeah, it's not what it was originally. This is actually much more accurate. For sure. Yeah. I see that line was a mistake. You see I started off so thin? That's a mistake. That's an objective mistake. Now I just gotta make sure that the eyes are, yeah, because it's tilted upwards. Oh, interesting perspective, actually. It's not tilted that upwards either, but... Let's see, and again, trying to hold a goddamn sphere inside of here incites quite a bit of fear. Actually, no, it's just a lot of mental effort. right? So yeah, drawing is just constant mental effort, just constant, you know. Like I want to keep reiterating that, like, but like if you ever feel like, damn, my brain's really hurting when you're practicing, that's the best sign that you could have, because that means you're drawing. That means you're drawing. Not that, oh, I didn't, because yeah, like, you know, you want to focus on your lines, you want to make sure everything's clean, you want to focus on your motor skills, everything involved with your motor skills and the proprioception, your awareness of the space in which you occupy in relation to the tool that you use, the pen or the pencil, ideally pen. But oh, this is a bit too wide. I feel, yeah, this side plane is a bit, actually no, this is okay. It's hard to tell. I'm still such an amateur when it comes to anything related to perspective and portraiture, especially, that, you know, I don't really have like a great eye for this, right? But yeah, we'll figure it out. This might actually be a bit too tilted. I may have tilted it a bit too much. And again, like, I still struggle here. You see how this is diverging again? Like this, still diverging. This is something I struggled with way back when I started with perspective as well. But this is actually a great angle for me to practice foreshortening from. Even though this is actually inaccurate as well. I feel as if what's the accurate version of the portrait that I'm trying to do is a blend between this and this in terms of the angle. Like, it's in the middle, right? It's not this, it's not this. It's more like this. Yeah. Right? Which is, it might look similar to this, but it's a bit more subtle, I guess. It's more like this, I believe. It's hard to tell. I mean, again, I'm a complete amateur when it comes to this, so it's always good to know where you stand, right? And in my case, I don't stand at all. In fact, sit down, be humbled, wee, right? But I mean, I think having humility when it comes to learning is the most important thing. Personally, for me, if I ever start saying things like, oh, I know this so well, or oh, I'm fucking amazing, right? I feel as if my 50-year-old self would just shake his head and be like, you fucking retard. Like, you were doing so good, and then you had the audacity to have an ego, right? That doesn't mean I can't be proud of the things I've been doing. By the way, again, while I'm talking, I'm trying to see the box, sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere inside the box. I'm constantly trying to calculate it. And when I forget I calculate it, I say it out loud again, just like I did, to remind myself, hey, calculate that, dipshit. But that to me is as actual fear. Yeah, this angle's definitely off. It's way too much. It should be something more like this. Yeah, definitely something more like, not like that, but more like, yeah, this super subtle difference. I'm doing this, right? I'm doing something, yeah, more like that. This one was way more like this. We need something in between, like that, for the side plane. But either way, yeah, for me, if I just feel like I disappoint the shit out of my, and again, while I'm doing this, I'm really trying to think about the center lines. I feel as if I disappoint the shit out of my 50-year-old self, right? If he were to find out that I had a good thing going and then I fucked it up because I got an ego. Know what I mean? And some might say, Viggy, what the fuck are you talking about? You do have a huge ego. You're always talking shit. And that is true. I am talking shit all the time. But that's my personality. I do think one would be hard pressed to find an example where I genuinely believe I'm better, in the sense that, like, I think I know everything, right? Yes, I'm very fucking abrasive at times. Yes, I'm very passionate and sometimes, oftentimes, a dick towards beginners, right? But you may notice there's a pattern. They're like, I'm a dick towards an incorrect mindset, right? And a lot of this, like, the other main thing to realize is the fact that I'm basically just shitting on myself. Because when I say these things, oh, okay, so see, that's off perspective. When I say these things, it's not me really like, yes, part of it is obviously I'm addressing people, beginners, etc., so on, but it's also just reminders to me, right? Like, I'm also telling myself these things, right? Like, when I say focus on the effort, focus on the errors, when I say stop having an ego, when I say all these things, it's me telling myself, like, dude, this is how you must behave. I want to hold myself to those standards too, right? And this is off perspective. It was very off perspective. That's a little bit better. But yeah, very off perspective. Let's draw these eyelashes again. Again, while I'm talking, while I'm fucking drawing these features, I'm having such a hard time seeing that box, right? Oh, this video is definitely gonna go over an hour. which is fine. This has been my practice, so it's all good. Oh, it's so fucking good. I love this. I love this so much. I genuinely just love the brain, the discomfort that it gives me. It actually makes me so happy. Like, I can't even explain how happy it makes me, because like I'm constantly just trying to try. And I feel as if that's all I can do. And it's the best thing I can do, I'd like to believe. Right? Because I mean, I always say the whole like you have two options thing, right? But it really is just two options. Bitch, moan, and essentially throw yourself a little pity party. I mean, I'm talking to myself here as well as you, I guess. Oh, lips are much worse here. Or just push yourself even further. Adapt, overcome, believe in yourself, right? Believe. But yeah, like calculating this is that's the minor axis there. That's the minor axis there, roughly. That one's a bit inaccurate, right? No, see, this one's a bit inaccurate too. It's more like this. Yeah, there you go, that's better. But that's like what I have to scale out on a much larger scale, so I'll be doing that here. I'm gonna rest my brain, and then I'm going to try to, because this does have good ideas. I feel as if like the attachments and things I did here, like I was going for something different. I just need to have a clearer idea, which is easier said than done, because it's how the fuck am I supposed to visualize this when I'm already dying visualizing this and then the sphere inside and stuff. But yeah, I think definitely good idea. So let's keep trying to push in that direction of just unorthodox, uneven shapes. Not that like that is the goal, just to make everything uneven, but the point is like just, you know, have fun, experiment, play around, but ground yourself with a sheer effort, right? Which is a really hard balance to achieve, to be honest, but it's I think for someone like me, or just someone who's so obsessed with practicing fundamentals and getting good, like in terms of just excellent technical skill, I need to be able to have that part of me that is able to play around, you know, and those are two different parts of the brain. So now it's a skill. The next skill that I'm gonna obviously, and I've always wanted to, and I've been trying a little bit, but I feel as if I'm taking it more serious now, is to play while focusing on this stuff, right? And it's not as if I wasn't doing it before, but it was happening in such little snippets, but now I'm genuinely making an active effort to remove a little bit of that rigidity in my experimentation and ideation while maintaining rigidity in my visualization and technical like perspective ability, which again is extremely difficult. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain and then we're gonna draw our little hard surface bullshit. So I have an idea, and I think I should capitalize on these random fucking little design visions I get while I rest my brain, just closing my eyes or staring off into space. So clearly, obviously, okay, like first again, box, right? Box, sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere, inside the box, right? Extremely difficult to maintain, but we're gonna try our best. We're genuinely just gonna keep trying to fucking output or input as much sheer effort in order to output the hundreds and thousands of mistakes, which in turn become the next learning lesson, right? I genuinely don't care what it turns into. I thought this would be shit, and it's all right. It's actually not that bad. Like it's actually not that bad whatsoever, right? There's nothing about it there's nothing about it that says, wow, that looks cool, but there's nothing about it that says, wow, that looks horrendous. It's just mid. But it's mid with ideas that I can possibly transfer over, right? So now let's try to bring that over here, right? And the first and foremost thing is just to establish my sphere. Bars, right? I don't even mean to rhyme things half the time, but then I do, and then I just have to obligatorily just suck my own dick and be like, ha ha ha, I got bars. But let's see. So again, we got to think about this front-facing plane, right? There's a bit of foreshortening. So the real question is, how real am I in question, right? So I don't think that's accurate what I did right there. Yeah, it isn't. There you go. And that right there. Right, so that's something like this. Again, these dots might fuck me over later, and again, I do have that bad habit. You see it all over the page, right? Where while I'm thinking, I'll just end up being like, like putting little dots because my hand's too fucking spazzy to stay still, right? Don't do it. Don't be like me, but do be like me when it comes to believing in yourself, because that's all we can do. Anyways, I don't know why I go into that mode, because I'm a man. That's why. There you go. I answered my own question. Anyways, but still thinking, still fucking trying to. Oh my god, this is actually really difficult. I actually can't say anything, but maybe I can. Maybe you know how like there's vibe coding. Maybe I can vibe art it out. Let me just get my computer and start prompting something into my mind, right? Dude, if that becomes the future, that'd be so depressing. That if you could be an AI artist by prompting something into your mind and then just having the skill to shit it out. I would just, like, I would still always pursue the physical, manual way of effort. Like, especially when it comes to art. That would just be a sad day, because that's like humanity's actually lost its artistic soul if they just rely on computations, external computations for like their outputs, like their physical outputs, like their movements and shit for drawing. I'd be like, holy shit, what's the point? What's the fucking point? And again, while I'm talking, I'm drawing in my mind. Let's see. And I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling to visualize this, but slowly but surely, like, funny enough, while I say it, and because I'm putting in even more effort, while I say it, I do see something. Now I just need to... Let's see. Okay, so I need to see the sphere. That's the biggest thing. I need to see the sphere in the box. The center lines, although I'd love to see all three at once, like, I'm gonna obviously try to keep it in mind, but I need a voice crack. But I need to. But I need to. No, but I need to. Because I need to go here. So let's see. We can have something that is. Okay, I want to do something like this. Right, and this is where like it's so hard to envision everything at once, but let's see, something like, oh man, my brain is actually hurting. And this is the very raw, some might say unglamorous, I would say most important part of the art process, which is the thinking part, where you're just fucking constantly being like, what about this? What about this? Oh, can I see it? No, I can't see it. Oh, can I see it? I can't see it. Right, and the thing is, there might be people who can achieve what I'm doing already and they put less effort into it, in the sense that like you might be able to do this roughly but kind of just vibe it out. But me personally, I don't even like using the word vibe it out, to feel it out. You might be able to intuitively feel it out, right, and just kind of double check. But I'm specifically chasing the skill of seeing. Like, I'm specifically chasing the skill of I will see before I put it down. I will not make estimates or guesses. I will see. I will literally see the invisible lines, because that's the skill that excellent draftsmen have. They see the lines. They see things that we cannot see. I want to see those things. So obviously I will train to see invisible things, i.e. just fucking be a baller. Right? Just be a baller. But again, like, I don't even know if that's accurate, but maybe if I do something like that. There you go. Okay, that might be too much actually, so that's a mistake. It feels good. Right, but yeah, that's my goal. Like, I want to see. I don't just want to shit things out, right? I literally want to see, you know? And that is why the things that I do are so difficult, you know? Because I'm not chasing the average skill. If I was chasing the average skill, then I would have average results. But I must chase extremely extraordinary skills and put in as much extraordinary effort as I can put in to, hopefully, to the best of my ability, have extraordinary results, right? And that does not come with just fucking around, right? It does not come with fucking around. And that's just like a given with any skill acquisition, of course, right? But especially with art. Okay, see, so that is something, because it's jutting out, so I can do something like this. That is straight. And now I can think. See, like, this is the other part. Like, while I'm trying to see the fucking sphere, I have to think. Like, on top of trying to see the box, the sphere and the center lines inside the box. Like, on top of that. On top of trying to hold this projection to the best of my fucking ability. Now it's like, oh, let's start ideating what interesting design shapes are, right? Like, what the fucking, are you kidding me? You know how difficult that is? Like to, because I could, if my goal is just to like draw interesting shapes, right? I've done that and I can do that. And I've done that a little bit outside of this practice, like fucking 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, oh wow, the shape practice is actually not going too bad at all. But then to do it on top of holding 3 layers of projection, it's a whole different skill, right? To design on top of that, because that requires an fucking insane amount of effort, which I am trying to put in. I mean, like, yeah, I'm just trying to put that effort in. And let's see. Okay, so I do have my perspective. Let's see. See, like I fucked something up here because this diagonal is too subtle, but now I have to match that diagonal to ensure that I have my perspective. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Do I want to cut out? Because this is also not part of the perspective, right? But that's this one. And that one is something different. Like this is this diagonal right here. I can say that with confidence. Like this is a diagonal that I've done. But let's see. Do I want a... Okay, fuck it. Let's just keep trying to see this box. This is because like all these different angles I've put, it's also fucking with my perspective, by the way. Like I don't know if, again, this is why I say everything is a meta skill, right? Because I feel as if people aren't aware of the fact that even something as seemingly simple as like, oh look, you just added another angle to your perspective, is something that can completely get in the fucking way. Like absolutely get in the fucking way of you being able to visualize the perspective like it is right now. Like it is right now for me. It's so hard. It is. I can't even explain how difficult this is, but it is extremely hard to see. But that's why I'm trying, right? That's why that's literally what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to see. And I'm failing miserably. I'll be completely honest. Like I'm failing so fucking hard. It's hilarious. Like I can't see. I'm really losing the perspective a lot here. But it doesn't mean that I just stop trying. Like I'm right now I'm kind of going off of intuition, which is not what I want, to be very clear. It's not exactly what I'm incredibly like happy about, but it is what is occurring. Right? Now what the fuck is happening here? Okay, so I lost the perspective quite a bit, but I feel as if I can make this work. Like I genuinely feel as if I can make this work. Right? If I just do something like this. So now we've got the contour. See, that line was a fuck up because I went over it multiple times because there was no line confidence. But I've got the contour now. So the main thing... okay, so we got something like this, and then we got something like this. And that's coming out here. And, oh wait, and then it's going back like so. Right? Wait, no, it's not going, but fuck, it's going this way, shit. And then we have to have it meet up that way. Yeah, see, like I lost the perspective there pretty badly, but... oh, this is nice. Now I can think about the contour again. There you go. So that line was a huge fuck up, but it's okay, because if I just do this, there you go, it's even now. Like, you see? Like, it's... sometimes it works out when you know perspective. Right now it's like, oh, it's a design decision. You didn't fuck it up at all. Vagu the bagu, genius. Right, but I lost the perspective. Like, I'm just really, really trying to hold this box in together at this point, because it's the only fucking thing I have going for me, goddammit. Okay, there you go. Let's just get our damn perspective back. There you go. Okay. So, nothing about this is extraordinary. Now, I could do something that's like, oh wow, okay, so that does kind of work. If I do something like this, and I have to be very careful with the proportions. There you go. Now if I do that, I don't know why my voice got all crackly like now if I do that. Like I don't know what the fuck that was, but I'm very focused, leave me alone. And I was like, oh, okay, now that actually does look a little bit like a hard surface design. I think I could say that relatively confidently. Like, oh yeah, it does look like something. Right. Maybe even a tiny one here. Maybe. Probably not. But yeah, okay, whatever. So there's some issues here that I personally cannot discern right now, but I need to go back and calibrate my mind to the box, right? And I think that can be done, but first and foremost, I'm gonna rest my brain because that hurt my brain a fuck ton. Just like that. Anyways, let's all rest our brains together. Utilize the gap effect. I will say, thankfully, it does seem like I'm getting a little bit better with the sphere. Even though this one, like, I don't even know if I should have closed it off here because it feels like to me there was a lot more that could have happened. And now I almost feel as if I've kind of fucked myself over a little bit, but because I just kind of defined this edge over here, even though I didn't mean to. We're gonna have to see, because like right now the perspective still isn't certain. You still can't tell that this is the main perspective, right? So in order to make that something that's like is what it is, in order to highlight that, I need to not only follow the contour, so let's get our sphere back. Yeah, let's get our sphere back. Right, it's like this. And again, this is actually, I think this is going to be a much smaller sphere, unfortunately, than what I originally envisioned. Let's see, actually, no. Yeah, okay, see, this was already a mistake. I shouldn't have extended that. But either way, I need to get this sphere to make sense. So if it actually, yeah, I'm just going to end it there. We're going to ignore that. We're going to ignore this extra line. And we're going to do something like, let's see, something like this. Actually, what should I do? Okay, no. If I want the perspective to be clear, I should probably do something like this. Right? And then we'll do a diagonal based on the bottom plane, which could be inaccurate. And then, yeah, based on the bottom plane again. That's pretty decent, actually. Right? Although the line is too thick, so it doesn't really inspire much in terms of line confidence. Oh, fuck me, not the pen cap! Dude, I swear I do this every fucking episode. At this point, what, like 380 videos out? I'm sure 300 of those videos have just been me fucking up the bottle cap by accident. Okay. And then, let's see. Where's the sphere? So we'll do something like this. Have no fear, sphere is here. And then we'll just close the sphere off. Okay, so this actually kind of looks like, damn. This could be something designed, but we have to be very careful. Duh. And then we'll, again, this is all purely just to reiterate the perspective for myself. And maybe hopefully design something relatively interesting. Right, like big, medium, small, right? So let's have a medium here. Like so. Let's try to follow the general principles I've established. Right? Perspective-wise. Right, that's perspective. I know some of it, like, it's already kind of fucking it up, but I didn't think, right? I just did not think. There's no other explanation. It's just, if mistakes are made from not thinking, that's literally it. Like, in art, mistakes are made from not thinking. In skill acquisition, mistakes are made from not thinking, right? And then it's just how we respond to those mistakes. And right now, I respond to them with happiness. And that will probably be how it is for the foreseeable future. Okay, so it's obviously being... It's like that's what it's wrapped around. It's wrapped around the sphere. Let's see. I want to be free. That was a mistake. Let's just... Okay, so this actually was a mistake. It shouldn't have been like this. But if it is now, let's just have this follow the contour, and then we're gonna thin this out a little. So we're gonna extend it because that's part of the perspective, and then I'm gonna try something unorthodox, right? There you go. Again, like big, medium, small exists even when it comes to different ratios, right? So that's why everything about design is so difficult. And that's why it's so worthwhile, but it's genuinely why it's so difficult, because everything is big, medium, small. Like everything is ratios and things related to each other, right? And as a novice, it's highly overwhelming. Incredibly overwhelming. And that's why you just have to keep going. You know, that's why we just have to keep trying. Because genuinely, there's nothing else. There's like nothing else that can be done. Right? And I made a mistake here, but... like, that's actually kind of curving in. Okay, we can just have this curve in, then. We'll just have this curve in. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there you go. This is intentionally curving in. We'll do that. And, okay, it's been an hour and 11 minutes. Fuck, this is actually going to be a long video. I did not expect to draw for this long at all. But, I mean, if that's the case, maybe I should just leave this side of the sphere as it is. Right? And then we'll just, like, again, if I'm trying to see the perspective... that's supposed to be curving in. There you go. Something like that. This is a huge, huge mistake. I don't know. I actually don't know. We'll have to see. And then we could have this wrap around like so. Right? And then we'll get the other side of the sphere, like that. And then just to reinforce the perspective yet again for ourselves, I'll do something like this. Shit. Something like this. Like that. Right? Just again on the bottom plane. And let's have this attach. Oh, it could literally be attached here, actually. That's not bad at all. We could have it attached right here. And this is also following the contour of the sphere, which I'm getting better at seeing, which I'm very proud of. I'll be honest, I'm very proud of that. That I'm actually getting better at, even if I can't see the entire sphere inside the box just yet, just the fact that I'm able to, like, start seeing in general makes me very happy. Oh, and then again, we could reinforce the perspective by doing something like, let's see. We could actually do something like this, right? And then close that, and then, oh wait, that should have been a bit larger. And not the most inspiring design, but I thought it would be interesting if the cylinder kind of went out and in, like, of these shapes. Thought that'd be pretty cool. And then again, to reinforce that this is in fact on the sphere, even though these lines are wonky as fuck. Yeah, there you go. See? And then, yeah, it would be something like this. Actually, no, it should be on the other side. Did I do something wrong? I think I did do something wrong. Something like this. Yeah, it's like jutting out. That was a mistake. But either way, let's just close this off. Something here definitely went off. That something there definitely went off. I don't fucking know. Yeah, something here definitely went off. But we'll leave it, because I did struggle a lot here. But again, good ideas. Honestly, lots of good ideas happening here with like this, maybe some shapes like this, trying to keep everything in mind. I feel as if definitely good ideas. So it's hard as fuck though. It's hard as fucking balls. But I think next video I will likely just draw this again, like either one of these two perspectives, and draw another one, because I don't have space for two, clearly. And then, yeah, I'll just do like one of this, and then probably another one of this. I don't fucking know. The point is, I'll figure out a way to make it even, in a sense. But with that being said, right, I hope you put a lot of fucking effort in. That hurt my brain. And I'll be completely honest, I'd say about like 50% of the time, I completely lost the perspective. But I kept trying. I just kept trying. And it felt really good to just constantly keep trying. Like, I lost it so much here, but again, that's because the angle went in 10 different ways, and I had to still keep the main angle in mind. This one, thankfully, still is in the perspectives, roughly. Like, it still looks like I've done enough to establish it. This, I ended up converging drastically, or just completely changing the angle, because I couldn't see it properly. And that's also because the shapes here were also very uninspired, and I actually forgot to add this. Right, so, forgot to add some perspective stuff there. I'm like, I feel some other shit is missing, but yeah, my brain's also very fried, so I'll be back in probably 20 minutes. I'm gonna go brush. Maybe I'll shower, and then I'll come back and draw. With that being said, as always, I hope you put a lot of effort in. Yeah, as always with that. But yeah, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me a